Welcome. Here we're going to talk about combining like terms, which is something that we often need to do when solving algebraic functions or algebraic expressions in order to simplify. So when we combine like terms, the important thing about it is that they have to be exactly the same thing in order to combine like terms. So if I have, for example, 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, I cannot do any simplification. I have an x here and I have an x squared here, but they are not exactly the same thing, right? So they have to be exactly the same in order to be combined. That's what it means to be like, exactly the same. However, if I had something like 2x minus 1 plus 3x, in this instance, I have only an x and x. So these can be combined. I have the 2x plus the 3x gives me 5 total, and then the constant, the number just stays by itself, so I get the minus 1. So be a little bit careful when combining like terms. Let's consider another example that sometimes trips students up. What do I have? I have 2x plus 3xy plus 4y. Again, here I have x, and here I have y, but we are seeking to have exactly the same thing. So x times y, that is not exactly the same as just x by itself, and it's not exactly the same as y by itself. So in this expression here, 2x plus 3xy plus 4y, I cannot simplify any further. That is as good as it gets. So let's do one more example because that will help us as we work through this. So let's do 3 times y plus 1 plus 9 times y plus 1. So there's a couple ways of handling this. The first way is to distribute the 3 and distribute the 9 and then combine the terms after the fact. But the other way is to look at this thing, this y plus 1, and to say, that is exactly the same thing. And I have 3 of something plus 9 of that exact same thing. And 3 plus 9 is 12. So, well, you can do that, and then you can distribute on the back end. Then I can say, okay, now I have 12 times y plus 1, and that when I distribute the 12 gives me 12y plus 12. I'm going to show this exact same problem, and instead of adding them together first, I'll distribute. So this exact same thing, 3 times y plus 1 plus 9 times y plus 1, and we're going to distribute before we add them. So 3 times y gives me 3y, 3 times 1 gives me 3. Then 9 times y gives me 9y, 9 times 1 gives me 9, and then I'm adding the like terms. So 3y plus 9y is 12y, and 3 plus 9 is 12. So I end up with exactly the same answer either way. So sometimes there's more than one option in order to achieve your answer.